I kindly ask you to all go down to your local tavern, belly up at the bar, and you say, "Barkeep, your freshest, hottest glass of pond scum, party of one."
It's been a long-running bit on the old SKP.
And they said, "What's that mean?"
And I said, "It's the Steve and Kyle podcast." And then they said, what's that mean? It's two random guys I know named Steve and Kyle, and they do a podcast.
It's the explanation we have to give to everybody. Even when it's me, Kyle, giving that, and you, Steve, giving that, they have to continually ask. So I think we're airboxing with pulleys for limbless dogs. That's where we're at?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That I think you summarized it well.
That's right. This portion of the Steve and Kyle podcast brought to you by Fricker's Chicken.
Be a good Van Wart. Stop in daily.
Why are we doing more ads?
I think we just answered that question for ourselves, why we're not doing more ads.
What are you talking about? It sounded so smooth.
Be a good Van Wart.
Oh, man. Welcome. As always, this episode of the Steve and Kyle podcast brought to you by Fricker's Chicken in Van Wert, Ohio. Chicken.
Is that their tagline? Home of the chicken.
The one. Come on in Wednesday nights for all you can eat
chicken.
That's right, folks. Plenty of chicken at your local, and by local I mean if you're local to Van Wert, Fricker's Chicken.
Yeah, there are many locations in all areas of
Van Wert.
It's Sunday, February 3rd, 2019, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast coming to you from APS 3.0, the tidied up APS 3.0.
Oh,
we finally, before we started recording, we said this has gone on too long. We had posted a picture on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram last week about how things had just gotten out of control since the holidays with all the wonderful gifts that people had sent us and snacks and little trinkets and everything, and it had completely overtaken the 2-foot by 5-foot card table that we broadcast from.
Yeah.
And we could not do it any longer. So if you go to facebook.com/Steve and Kyle or on Twitter and Instagram @Steve and Kyle, you'll see the freshly straightened up Steve and Kyle podcast studios, APS 3.0. And I feel a lot better about this. It was overwhelming. I'm kind of a neat freak with certain aspects of my life, and this was every time I came in here, I was like, "Oh God, I gotta throw stuff out."
Yeah.
So there was a lot of wrappers, a lot of like empty food containers.
Well, and there was food that we hadn't even unpacked. No offense to the people that sent us, but our snack shelf we're out of room.
Yeah.
We've had to make...
to be clear, we opened everything that was sent to us.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff was opened and then put back in a bag or a box simply for space. So we've been putting in some hard work.
Yeah.
Eating. The box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch was finished yesterday by my wife.
Oh.
You didn't get much of that, did you?
Much? But I see... You still got that crackling oat bran down here.
Yeah, COB is for special occasions. You haven't tried that yet, right?
No, again, I'm not one of two things, Steve. I'm not an old man struggling to poop, and I'm not a horse.
so that's crackling oat bran's like desired demographic.
That's their only demographic.
Horses, or old men who can't poop. And horses.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're one step away from licking a sugar cube in your free time for entertainment. But don't stub your toe. They'll have to put you down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still like it. It's really good. I'm going to get you to try something. You know something? We're going to have a whole day dedicated to the food that I eat that you won't touch. Yeah. We're going to start out. Breakfast is going to be a big bowl of crackling oat bran. And then... I don't know what we'll do for lunch. We'll figure that out later. But then for dinner, obviously, it's going to be a nice medium steak.
Maybe
potatoes, asparagus.
Maybe a little food sleepover.
Yeah.
Well, you and me in some PJs watching.
Yeah, we'll put our sleeping bags right down here on the floor.
Yeah.
Even though there's beds and couches as
Sure.
far as the eye can see in this
You
room.
think Annette will let us build a fort?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
blanket.
then-
Yeah, we have enough blankets upstairs.
And we'll wake up. You can put on the newest episode of Wrench on the Jeeps.
Why wouldn't it just be Wrench on the Jeeps?
Because it's got a nice sound like Wrench on the Jeeps. You know, they got a theme song they got to stick with.
And it's to the chorus of row, row,
Yeah.
wrench
On
the Jeeps.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wrench on the Jeeps. We watch that while we dig into our bowl of crackling oat bran, some COB. Now, what are we doing? We doing 2%? We doing whole? What do you drink?
Usually 2%.
2%. Okay,
Yeah,
you're a good
2%.
man.
Yeah.
Anybody who's drinking skim, turn this podcast off.
See, I never remember if I do two. Like, what is skim? What's the difference between skim
So
and
skim-
1% and then 2%? Like, let's be honest. There's really no difference between 1 and 2% other than one single percent.
Yeah,
Can
but-
anyone notice a difference?
I bet not from 1 to 2, but I think skim's so noticeable because skim is like, you know, you've seen Yoo-Hoo, where it's like chocolate water,
Yeah.
but this
it's
is just
kinda-
milk
it's like
water.
translucent.
It's really weird looking and it's gross. But then people who drink whole milk, where it just comes out in a cinder block,
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know if I can respect you either.
Yeah, that's something. That's a bit thick. Hey, going back to Wrench on the Jeeps, you make fun of me for my love of the truck shows that I watch on a regular basis.
By shows, you mean YouTube series that people in their homes put together, right?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
There are some that are on actual television.
Okay.
And one of the shows that I enjoy is Truck Tech, where they work on trucks. Now I'll pull up the website right here so you can see it. Truck Tech. Oh, look, see they're working on Project Red Tide this week. They're slamming it with 4 to 6 inch lowering kit. Now one of the hosts of this show is a man named LT. Are you leaving?
Oh, what? I thought you might just want to.
You took your headphones off. I mean, I can watch the show if you
I know.
want.
I didn't know if you just wanted to.
No.
So there's a man hosting truck check techers.
Truck
Truck
Tech.
Tech.
I don't know why you struggle so much with.
Whose name is LT.
Yeah.
Okay. So this week we got Project Red Tide. They're going to lower that thing 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah. Now that's hosted
Sure.
by Lawrence LT Tolman.
Yeah, you know, the world's most famous LT. Not one of the greatest football players in history.
Come on.
Lawrence Taylor.
Look.
Well, okay. I'm not even going to put this on the poll because it would be an embarrassment.
Well, no, I
but
mean,
when you think LT, I thought you were ramping up to like you're going to be surprised because
no.
Lawrence Taylor, the linebacker
No.
for the New York Football Giants, hosts Truck Tech on a weekly basis.
No, not at all. I would never compare the two. Everyone knows that the truck guy far more famous than the football man.
So,
But this man right here, this is LT right here on the right hand side. Mm-hmm. The show is filmed in Nashville, Tennessee.
it's Larry Tolman, you said. Larry Tolman.
Lawrence Tolman.
You know, it goes by Larry with his
Sure,
friends.
maybe. A couple weeks ago on the side gig, old LT was the contestant on Dumber Than the Show trivia one day.
Oh.
Turns out he listens every day on his drive into the Power Nation studios.
Whoa.
So I, of course, starstruck. Complete starstruck.
This is like the time you met Andy Hillstrand.
Yeah.
Oh, no, was that John? It was Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Hillstrand, one of the now former boat captains on Deadliest Catch
met
down
him
at
the
Daytona.
Yeah, I met him at the Daytona 500, like 2009, maybe 2010.
What made you more starstruck? Talking to Larry Tolman on the phone or meeting crab boat captain Jonathan Hillstrand in person?
Probably Jonathan. No offense, LT.
Oh, you think he's listening to this too?
Maybe.
LT, if you listen to this, we got to get you on the phone. I need to know how you don't just fall asleep or try to slam your head on the hood on a weekly basis.
Funny you should say that, because as I do every day after we play the game on the show.
Sure.
I send the contestant an email, either saying, "Congrats, you won. Fill out this form so we can cut you a check," or "Sorry you didn't win, but here's a free VIP membership to the website, just as like a consolation prize." Well, so I have like a form letter basically that I just copy and paste. But this one, I decided to go off script a bit. I edited that letter a bit. I said, "Hey, man, just so you know, I'm a huge fan of your show. I watch it every weekend. Yeah. Awesome that you listen.
Yeah.
Big fan. Good job. Keep up the good work."
Yeah.
He emailed back. He said, "Thanks, man. I listen to you guys every day on the ride in." So there's a mutual respect there.
Sure.
Mutual respect
LT.
for, it's like a couple of artists just admiring. It's like I'm standing there in front of a big block of marble, and I'm tink, 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 chiseling away.
Pretty soon, LT's going to come wrench on the Jeep with you.
He may, because he said that the next time we're in Nashville, get in touch with him. He'll give us all a tour of the studios, which 3 of the 4 people not even remotely interested in. Well, maybe 2 of the 4 not interested in.
So he's not offended. You're going to have to find 2 random people and call them your co-hosts, so they're not offended.
Yeah.
So he's not offended.
So he said that. Mm-hmm. Also sent me his phone number. And then later that night, you know what I got? I got a Facebook friend request from LT.
LT, what's he got? 300 friends?
No, he's got a lot of friends.
Does he?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Actually, no. He has a low friend count, which leads me to believe that this isn't his personality Facebook page. Like, hey, come and like my page. No, this is an actual individual page. That maybe, just maybe, not everybody gets access to. But this guy
family
does.
And friends only.
Mm-hmm.
You thought about, I just had a good idea. Yeah. You send this email out every day. You send a lot of emails from your side gig.
Plenty.
You thought about mending your signature on that email?
Okay. Tell me more.
So what does it say right now? Like, Steven, and below it you've got producer, Free Beer and Hot Wings.
I have.
Maybe your phone number below it.
Pull it up right now. Stephen McKiernan, executive producer, the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. Mm-hmm. freebeerandhotwings.com. Click here for a list of stations that carry the show.
Boom.
What do you got?
I think right above freebeerandhotwings.com.
Okay.
You drop a StephenKyle.com, or
I have a better idea.
Okay.
See, now
I'm all ears.
All right, here, I'll pull it up on the screen for you. So you see how it's www.freebeerandhotwings.com.
Yep.
Well, that's a link, so you can click on that. Mm-hmm. But I could make that link
go to
so
Steve.
It looks like freebeerandhotwings.com, but then when you click on it, it actually goes to StephenKyle.com/merch.
Or for a click here for a list of stations that carry the show, your here is hyperlinked.
Yeah.
You have that direct right to StephenKyle.com/merch.
So we're just basically our goal is to just sell stuff.
We don't care about listeners. We need more. Okay. We need more of those Redbubble emails for you've made $2.
All right. I bet I could get LT as a guest on the podcast.
All right.
I mean, you alone probably have a million questions.
Yeah, I mean, let me know when he's going to be on. Boy, I got to take a week off.
All right. It's then that week it's the Stephen LT podcast.
I talked to LT. Ask him if he ever regrets his decisions in life. Oh, well, no, he's hosting a TV show, so
yeah,
obviously
I think he's doing okay.
But
now, granted,
in terms of interesting, is he just the host, or is he out there, wrenching
he's the host
away?
And he's wrenching.
Okay, so he's like the host of This Old House.
He's he's not like the studio analyst. Mm-hmm. He's the guy out on the field. It's pretty impressive.
I mean, you know what? Abuse this.
I think that might be the most famous person whose phone number I have.
Ooh.
What about you? Do you have any famous person's
It's one of your co-hosts.
Yeah.
But hopefully in a week, maybe one James Pardo.
Oh, you think?
I think we just.
You think you guys are going to hit it off?
I think
that
here's
well?
the key. Mm-hmm. So we're going to a stand-up comedy show next weekend.
We are.
The rest of your side gig goons will be there. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've been to a Jimmy Pardo show before.
Yep.
So I know that he'll just stand at the exit. When he's done, he'll have some merch and can say hi and shake his hand, whatever. And I think we just make sure we get in that exit line area with your co-host. He'll probably recognize you. You'll see him, the day before that morning.
Before. Yeah, it's weird because the last time we went to his show, it was the same situation. He was in studio on a Friday, and we might have gone to the show on a Friday. It was either a Friday or Saturday night.
Sure.
And I remember leaving, but not wanting to. I don't want to put him in the awkward situation where I have to be like, hey, remember me from yesterday from the radio show? So I think that we just kind of skipped the meet and greet line altogether on the way out. But I'm not sure.
I remember I said hello to him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to buying some of the merch as an in, But I think we get in there with your side gig that he'll recognize. Maybe we slip him a card with a number. That'd be like, hey, Jimmy,
a card with an address. We'll just have him.
Oh, drive on over, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy, we're recording in the morning.
Yeah, we'll have to find that third mic that Doug didn't know how to use. Hook that up on the end of the folding table.
Yeah, I'm sure that this is exactly what Jimmy wants to do at the end of a long weekend of like 9 different shows.
Yeah, doing 3 shows Saturday night, a late show 10:30. We'll ask him to be here bright and early around 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
We'll chit-chat for an hour. It started around 9:30, 9:45.
Yeah, maybe I'll make him some eggs.
Yeah, he looks like a guy who likes breakfast.
Sure. Yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't like breakfast?
And that is how I get my new most famous person in my phone.
All right. Okay. I think that I could give you LT's number if you want, and
not interested.
And then you could have
not interested. Oh. It's not. Is he on Twitter?
I think so.
How do you spell that last name? Is it Tolman?
Tolman.
Lawrence Tolman.
Lawrence.
Oh, I got it. Looks like he's not on social media, Steve.
No. Oh, I bet he's on Instagram. I know he's on Instagram. Yeah, LT_Tolman on Instagram.
Huh. Yeah, let's get him on.
So everybody, please go to Instagram, LT_TOLMAN.
Don't do that.
And
unless you just like random pictures of engine blocks.
Tell him that you heard about us. You heard about him on @FBHW Show and @Stephen_Kyle with emphasis on @Stephen_Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Even more emphasis on @NoPH in Stephen. Look at this. Look at these pictures. This is great. This is good content.
There's not one thing interesting in any. The only thing interesting in that picture, it looks like he's holding a hammer.
No, he's holding. That's an axle shaft. Idiot.
God.
Going like that.
Not from our account. I don't when I click like search or explore from our Instagram account, which by the way we haven't really talked about a lot, but we are on there. We're going to try to post some different content or. If you're on Instagram, or it's a lot of people are. It's a generational thing now. You're not going to see as many people on Facebook. It seems like Instagram's a thing. Well, we wanted to make sure Instagram was sticking around.
Yeah.
We waited around 130 episodes to get that thing hooked up.
132, I think.
And so we're on there @Steve_Kyle. Please check us out there. And we did want to mention, this isn't intentionally being vague, but by the time you're listening to this, check us out there @StephenKyle on Instagram, @StephenKyle on Twitter, and Facebook.com/StephenKyle. We're going to have a little video up there. We're going to try something a little different in the coming weeks that we would like to do. We'll have more details on that video. So be sure to check that out.
Basically, by the time you're listening to this episode, just go to all the social media, and it'll be posted up there somewhere. I think we'll probably just pin it to the top of Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, and
I don't think you can't do that on Instagram.
I don't think so. But we, Steve and you and I had, and again, this is not intentionally being vague. We're not trying to do this on purpose. But we had a talk a few weeks ago. We got some few things in the pipeline that we would that we're considering adding to the Steve & Kyle podcast portfolio, the Lispin Network.
Lispin Podcast Network. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. Remember about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago maybe, was when Annette and I were buying and selling houses like crazy. And I had talked my realtor into starting a podcast.
Yeah, the Fark Man.
He finally did.
He's doing his own podcast?
He's doing his own podcast.
On his own.
He
didn't join the Lispin Network.
No, he didn't join the Lispin Network. But I've been contracted to to give my feedback. So I've been listening to a couple episodes this weekend. I got to give him some feedback. So
God, how do you stay awake?
So I think what I'll do is once we get it up to par and it's decent, then maybe we invite him to join the flock.
Oh, sure. We're not just inviting any willy-nilly garbage here.
No.
So, but yeah, we'd like to add some stuff, maybe change some things around, to do something different. So be tuned to our social media this week to check that out for something coming soon.
LT_Tolman, TOLMAN on Instagram. Stop by there. Tell him that you're a big fan of his work. You're a big fan of the Steve and Kyle podcast. Look at that Beetle. That's a cool looking vehicle, right?
Get him on. Not today, but let's see if we can get him on. Chat with him.
You sure?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just along for the ride, man. I got second billing on this podcast. I'm vetoed in title alone, it seems. Hey, we're here for one thing, Steve, and that's to talk to interesting people and
about trucks.
And as much as we've done that 0 times,
have we had any real interviews?
No. I mean, I look at the way
we had Stan the Movie Man on once or twice.
Yeah, we'll have him on in a couple of weeks. I guess we should tell him that. Talking Oscars.
Yeah.
Have him on in a few weeks. But I look at the way we do 2 minutes of awkward conversation as obviously more informal interviews, right? With your everyday Joe. I think we make those interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the only difference between them and us is we have the microphones and they have a phone.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed every one of those. Every one of those times we've just talked to one of our listeners.
Making babies cry.
We talked to our clips expert, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Who drove down.
He drove hours.
Like a real idiot. Coming in 4 years, and he went and parked on a highway for 3 days. Slept in a Aztec back with a tent that pops out so he didn't miss a stupid picture of the sun getting covered.
That's right. I forgot how little that impressed you.
And that is why we don't have more people on. But yeah, no, we've had that on, and yeah, I think we should talk to LT. Use your personal connection. Maybe send him a Facebook message. Okay. Say, hey, LT, didn't want to drop this big bomb on you.
Message. I'll just text him.
You gonna text him?
Yeah.
Hey, LT, didn't want to drop this bomb on you on the phone last week. Yeah. BT Dubs, thanks for playing the game.
What I really want to get is the Power Nation equivalent of a VIP membership, so I can watch the most recent episodes online. Because I don't have cable, so I don't get this channel.
So how do you watch them?
They post them. I can watch basically all of last year's episodes.
Well, that might have changed in LT's life. You don't even know.
I know.
Just think. Now you're putting us at risk.
He could have no hands by this point.
We get LT on, and you're going to say something like, hey, LT, how are both of your hands? And he's just going to be silent. And then he's going to say, well, I lost one in the floor jack incident of December. And you're going to feel dumb.
Yeah, I would feel pretty silly.
So that's it. You heard it here first.
Maybe he's interested in a Jeep.
Oh, God.
I think he'd be interested in a 2015 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport Edition, black on black on black, beautiful vehicle. People pounding on the door, just trying to get a piece of this vehicle.
It's a quick way to get your phone number directed to Blocksville.
Blocksville.
Trying to sell your Jeep to a TV show host.
Well, he might want it to look. All the vehicles that they work on there, they belong to somebody. Yeah, maybe he wants to work on
Project Red Dawn. What was it called?
Red Tide.
Red Tide.
Red Tide.
It does sound like an invasion of the Russians.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about all the shows is that they'll bring a vehicle into work on, and they always give them names like a Project Titan.
Well, how else would you file it in the filing cabinet when you're done? If you don't have a cool name. Be like, hey,
maybe just the year, the make, and the model. This one could just be, hey, we're working on the red Chevy truck again this week.
You got a notes going for questions to ask LT next week?
I could put
why do you have stupid names for all your projects?
I feel like that's probably not his decision. And here's my huge prediction is that he would say, yeah, it's kind of corny. We don't really like it either, but corporate makes us do it.
Do they do at the end of the episode? where it's like a massive, like an oversized stamp, like comes down on the screen and it burns in the imprint of Red Tide, and then a big green check mark
like
goes
done.
through it, like Red Tide complete.
They don't, but I mean, now that we have an in, I bet that we could make that suggestion.
That's right, folks. Next week on this very podcast, stay tuned. LT Lawrence Taylor. Tolman. Not the linebacker.
No.
I think we advertise it next week. LT on the show.
Do you think maybe we should clear it with him first?
Lawrence Taylor? Tolman?
Or do we just say next week LT is going to be on the show?
Yeah.
So everyone assumes
Yeah.
that Lawrence Taylor is going to be on the show.
Yes.
And then we just ask him football questions.
Ooh, the weekend of the football season's over? Yeah. That makes the most sense, right?
Right.
Yeah, we got our local football expert on. That's LT. LT, what do you think of
The
free agency?
The football players scrambling in the backfield formation.
All right, thanks, LT. We'll talk to you next week.
It's like, what? Why?
So you've got a celebrity in your phone that we can use, what sounds like, at our disposal.
I don't know about that.
That's what I'm hearing.
I would not say that. I feel like he's probably pretty busy because he's got a job, and his job is not
really though. What are they doing? It's going to be like every other. They're filming an hour a week, 2 hours a week tops. They're cutting all the other footage together with the wrench monkeys doing the actual work. Well, LT.
Are you calling LT out? Are you saying that?
Oh yeah.
So you're saying he doesn't handle the wrenches at all?
Oh, you ever heard of the expression figurehead?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't think LT is getting his hands dirty.
Okay.
See the type of guy who's, when he has a wrench, he has latex gloves on because he doesn't want grease on his fingers.
No,
Steve.
no, he seems to get down and dirty.
Well, all questions we'll have for LT next week after we get done with the football questions.
I can't wait because we'll go back and forth. I'll ask him like a legitimate technical question.
Oh, don't do that. We don't need everybody to turn this off.
And then your question will be, so what's your favorite wrench, 1/2 inch or 9/16?
I think I'm going that specific. I'm going, what's your favorite screwdriver, Phillips or flat? Why is it Phillips, by the way? You think you'll have the answer?
Probably.
Yeah.
I bet he was in charge of that decision.
Well, I just want to know if he knows. I'll test his expertise.
All right.
LT next week. Steve's celebrity
friends. I will
friends.
send an email.
Nope.
I mean, I will send a text.
You're darn
so it has to be.
right.
And then what I will do is I will screenshot the text and post it to social media
with the phone number.
I need to screenshot the response that we got from Van Wert from Fricker's Chicken.
Oh,
and Van
God,
Wert.
yeah, you sent that to me. That was like a kick in the stomach.
Oh, that hurt so badly.
It really did.
All right, shifting gears a bit here. Are coming up in April, just basically 2 months away. We're going to be going to beautiful Van Wert, Ohio.
Scenic
Van Wert, Ohio, in the most beautiful time of year to see our billboard, which will run in Van Wert for an entire month. Full month of exposure for the Steve and Kyle podcast in Van Wert. So we're going to go down there on April 6th. It's a Saturday. We're going to get down there hopefully late morning, go directly to the billboard. We're going to take some pictures, maybe do a Facebook Live video or something from there just to, truly take it in. And we're inviting listeners to join us later that day at Fricker's Chicken in Van Wert, where I think we just randomly search restaurant like chicken wing restaurants in Van Wert?
I think we were looking for bars or restaurants in that area, and Fricker's seemed to be the unanimous choice.
So we said, all right, that's it. We're going to Fricker's Chicken. And then the idea evolved a bit, and we said, why don't we get in touch with Fricker's and see if we can tape a segment or tape some of the podcasts there.
Yeah.
So I sent them a message through their website. Never heard back. That was probably a month ago. Didn't hear a word back. So last week you found their Facebook page, and after the episode, after we finished recording, I sent them a message. Now I had to send it from my own personal Facebook, which I didn't like.
Yeah.
I was hoping to send it from the Steve and Kyle podcast one, but Facebook has this weird glitch where if you have a page, which we have for Steve and Kyle podcast, not a profile, you can respond to messages, but you can't initiate messages. Like, I can't go in there and hit new message and then type it out. Very weird. So I sent it to them, and I said, wait, do you actually want me to read the message word for word that I sent?
Yeah, sure. I never heard this, so maybe you were the jerk.
No, I don't
Maybe
think so.
you came off pompous.
I think that,
I
think you're going to be on my side with this.
Okay.
Although I've said that many times before, and that has not been the case. But yeah. Oh, I got to pull it up on my phone. For some reason, that doesn't work on my computer. All right. Frickers Van Wert. This is January 28th, 3:37 p.m. Hello! Exclamation mark. I'm one half of a podcast, the Steve and Kyle podcast, and we will be in Van Wert on April 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So far?
I like it.
All right. We were looking for a spot to set up and record a live version of the podcast, and we were hoping you would be interested in hosting us. How are we so far?
Sure, I like
Good?
it. Yeah.
Nothing has been weird so far, right?
Yeah, no way.
Nothing special is required on your end at all. We just need a small table in a corner with access to an outlet to plug in a small mixer and some microphones.
Yeah.
Good so far?
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm assuming you're about to drop in, how much more money we're going to bring these people, right?
We aren't asking that you even run the show through a PA or anything. We just want to record live on site if that's possible. If this is something you'd be interested in, please let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's it. I feel like I put exclamation marks in all the right spots. I said please and thank you.
I feel like you nailed it.
24 minutes later, a response. Because on Facebook, you can see when people read your messages. So I saw that they had read it right away, and I was like,
Oh, this is happening now, right?
This is it. Thank you for the consideration.
Yeah.
But at this time, we would decline the opportunity.
Huh.
So my reply was, oh darn, with a frown.
And they read that too. I mean,
They sure did.
This was talked about once before, but it was talked about once before in regards to your wedding. Could we guerrilla cast this thing from Frickers and Van Wert?
I mean, probably.
What's stopping us from, let's assume there's not many people at the local Frickers at the time of day we're going. For the sake of our argument, right? So instead, hey, how many? 2? We got a backpack on, whatever. And instead, they'd bring us to a table. Can we get a booth? We pick our booth where we can spot an outlet to be plugged in. What are they going to do if we sit down at this table? We're ordering food and drinks. You bust out the mixer. We clamp 2 microphones on the side of their table.
No, I still think that we do it guerrilla style. We do the
lavalier
mics, the little clip-ons, because they won't even see them.
Mm-hmm.
We have our mixer, which easily fits inside of a backpack. That can be sitting on the booth or on the bench next to us.
Sure.
I just reach in there. I connect all the cables real quick. Hopefully, the key is the outlet. The absolute key.
Yeah.
Is that there's an outlet right underneath that table, because really we need one plug. Most of this stuff we don't even need. We don't need the computer. We don't need the iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got to bring the little recorder. Okay. I think we can do it, though. Do you want to try it? Do you want to try and go guerrilla style?
Unless, now we have a friend of the show, Patrick, who listens to us and works in Van Wert, lives nearby.
Oh, he's our man on the inside. Patrick.
Yeah.
Can you get to... I need you to go to Frickers, scout out a booth, or booths preferably,
They have an outlet.
With outlets. And then you need to basically send us a schematic of the place. You need to sit down in there and kind of draw it out. Be like, okay, the 4th booth on the left, or the 3rd booth on the right, or the booth underneath the big Budweiser sign. Mm-hmm. You need to tell us where we can do this. We just need a standard outlet.
That's it. We're not asking too much here.
Outlet.
Not asking too much. Otherwise,
and bring your cell phone charger with you so you can plug in, make sure the outlet works.
Sure.
We don't want to lug all this stuff down there for no reason. Then what we do, we set up in the car, we clip our mics on, when we walk in, say, can we sit? Oh, yeah, can we sit over there? It's a good view of the TV.
It's either that or we do this the proper way, which is see what else is nearby. Now, we still go to Frickers. We've been talking about Frickers long enough. And we do our live podcast from somewhere else.
Nope. No.
Seems like you're against that then?
It's happening at Frickers.
Okay. You heard it, folks. Saturday, April 6th. Now, the reason this is being mentioned, there is there's a link to an event that we created. It's on Facebook, so I know it's probably the lesser used of the social medias, but that's the only place you can really make an event. Please check it out there. It's been posted on Twitter. I don't think you can post a link on Instagram. I don't know how to do that.
No. But what I can do is just take a screenshot of the event. Okay. Post it on Instagram too.
Please go there. RSVP if you're wanting to go. We've got a handful of people coming along with us. We would love to see you there.
Completely shocking that people are going to take time out of their day.
We would love to see you there. Frickers, Van Wert. Now, we will update that with the exact location of the billboard as soon as I get notification from Senior Account Executive Joe.
Did you send the check?
Check should be there. So I'm going to follow up this week, make sure the payment has been received. Once we have that finalized, I will post the location of the billboard so that people know where it's going. I'll say this. I put the location on the event, Steve, as Frickers Van Wert. Because it is...
I'm posting it right now.
0.7 miles away from Frickers Van Wert. So there's not a lot of travel involved once we get to Van Wert. Maybe we can get a local Van Wert tour guide. Bring us, you go to Gettysburg or you'll go even Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, whatever. You can sign up for like a ghost tour.
Yeah.
I think Van Wert has one of those. Ooh. The Ghosts of Van Wert. And it's just like one guy with a fake lantern that's actually like an LED light in there. And he walks us by houses and goes, yeah, little Billy used to live there until he killed his sister, we think.
And he just goes, woo.
Yeah. And then presses a buzzer in his hand and it makes like a trash can lid go boom.
Maybe has a bat fly by because as we know, that's key to haunted stories.
Sure. You got to have the bat.
Things that go bump in the night.
And a mask. Haunted places in Van Wert, Ohio. When I search for Van Wert ghost tours.
Anything?
No, I'm not going out on my own. I want some guy dressed up in old-timey garb who takes us around with a fake oil lantern. I don't think it's being too much. I don't think it's too much to ask.
No, not at all.
You're calling yourself Historic Van Wert.
Yeah.
So I do click on Haunted Places in Van Wert, Ohio. The Miami Erie Antique Collectible Mall.
That sounds terribly boring.
God's sake, we're not doing this. But number...
What?
25 miles from Van Wert. Ceylon,
yeah.
Ceylon. Covered bridge.
Oh, there we go. It's a sign. It is a sign. You like haunted stuff, right?
Love haunted stuff.
Has there ever been a haunted suspension bridge? Oh, God. Not a chance.
No, because most people don't die while on those unless you commit suicide. You can't commit suicide off a covered bridge because the creek 3 feet below isn't far enough to even warrant a bridge. It could be a cold
winter day. And you fall through that ice. You're dead.
Your ankles.
Of Van Wert.
The worst case scenario is you're getting frostbite near your ankles.
I don't know why you have to be so against this.
A local legend has it, Steve, that many years ago a group of teens performed a seance here during which a body fell to the floor, leaving a large blood stain near the pentagram that they had drawn.
Okay.
Experience is rumored to have opened a portal from which strange things come. We can just say like portal to hell, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So come along with us after we have some chicken and drinks.
Join us, won't you?
Steve and Kyle visit the Ceylon covered bridge where a body fell and opened a portal to hell.
This sounds nice.
I think we have to go there. If it's as long as it's, heading in the right direction for us and not, 25 miles south, like even further away.
Yeah.
I think you and I are stopping at the Ceylon covered bridge. And it'll be you all giddy and me trying to urinate on the wood to reduce its integrity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the way to treat a historic location.
Yeah, historic. Body from the ceiling, Steve. You heard it here first.
I'm posting right now. Will you be there?
Again, that is Saturday, April 6th. That is, 9 short weeks away, Steve?
Yeah.
9 short weeks away. Get your days in order as you figure out how you and the family can come take a trip to see 2 podcast hosts in front of a billboard of their own faces, well, presumably, because that's the next thing Steve and I have to do. With the help of our good friend Philip, we are designing the billboard as we speak. We are designing this billboard, and I don't think we're going to unveil the billboard.
No.
Until we're there.
No, until we're there and we can actually...
the people who join us, they will be able to see the billboard before anybody else, as it should be. Now, we'll know what it looks like because, well, when you paid for it, but when we have to finalize everything. So that'll be happening again.
Yeah.
On Saturday, April 6th. The event is on Facebook. Please RSVP if you're going. We would love to see everybody there. Again, first round is on us at Fricker's Chicken.
Up to 10 people.
Up to 10.
We got to keep amending this because a lot more people are planning on showing up than originally anticipated.
I will cover
6.
I'll cover the costs of the additional people. Please come out. First round's on us. Have a drink. Enjoy some time at the billboard while we guerrilla cast from Frickers and Van Wert.
Oh, can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. It's posted on Facebook. It's now on Twitter and Instagram as well, all the details. So we look forward to seeing you there on April 6th.
Steve, you mentioned it when we were talking about LT, our new football expert.
No, truck expert.
Joining us on the podcast next
Yeah.
week. LT joining us. You had mentioned that maybe LT wants to buy a Jeep. Now, out of fear of ramming this into the ground, which we may have already done in past.
No.
I need to ask, and I think I speak for all of us when I say maybe we'll go on a little hiatus until we get a Steve update from himself, which will never happen. But Steve, you were excited again last week while recording this very podcast. It was a Sunday morning, and you said, that's right, so-and-so just messaged, wanted my email for her grandpa or her dad?
Her dad, I believe.
Who wanted this Jeep, and you thought, this
is it.
This was it. So how far did we get with so-and-so's dad, who didn't know how to use an email? Is he the proud new owner?
No. It's a stupid question.
Okay. So, should I keep asking what happened, or are you getting tired of rehashing this?
No, it was
on a weekly basis.
Let's see. The one last week was a scam. It was I had a feeling it was a scam.
The one for the dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Dad then sent me an email later that day saying,
Sure.
I am in love with your vehicle. I would love to come and look at it. But first,
all sounds legit.
Are there any oil leaks or suspension problems? So I replied and said, nope, none of that.
Yeah.
Where are you located? And then he replied with the customary scam email that said, I am out of the country on business, but I will send you $50 million for your troubles. And then you just have to drive the vehicle to a shipping container and put it on there and pay for it in advance. And then the money will be released to you.
But it seems like the $50 million's over your asking price. It seems like a good deal.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but then I realized it was a scam.
So
no, that one did not work out. Then all day yesterday, I was getting messages from a man who was insistent on lowballing me and then sending me screenshots of other vehicles that he could buy for cheaper, to which I just kept replying, those look like good deals. You should buy them.
That was this guy's whole game, was to
Yeah.
get you down thousands of dollars by sending you other Jeeps.
Yeah. So we have, as I've talked about in the past, we have a little wiggle room. So I finally got to a point where it was like, we can't go any lower than this. I talked to Chris.
Right.
This was our rock bottom price. And he just said, well, I can't do that. That's too much. I do this all the time. You're asking too much. And I was like, all right, well, that's fine. No harm, no foul. Good luck with your search. And then I'd get 10 more messages from him. See, because I'm offering you this amount because of this. Like, look, man, if you can get a better deal,
go do it.
Do it. Why do you keep coming back to me then? Just do it. So here we sit. No further along. Did send us somebody a message a little while ago who was requesting more pictures of the vehicle. So they have been sent.
Do you not have enough pictures of the vehicle posted, Steve?
He wanted pictures of it before it was repaired. He wanted to see what the condition was when we got it.
Okay.
So I sent him some of those pictures.
Well, hey, I can't say anything anymore. The poll results are clearly in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one day you're going to come in here to record this podcast, and sitting here on this newly cleared out table is just going to be a pile of money. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to say, yeah, that's my pile of money that I made off of my non-successful sale. Mm-hmm. Just to blow it in your face. Maybe I'll light some of the money on fire. Just to really prove to you.
I will ask you off air, not now, but after it's sold, because I will be curious to know when this thing is eventually sold. Because, and now this is a legitimate question because that I don't know the answer to. Does essentially the calendar turning over, making your Jeep 1 year older, does that have a large effect on the asking price, or a noticeable effect? Like,
really.
should you do you have to like $500 cheaper because it's essentially a year older?
A little bit, because when we first got it, I remember looking up the value of it, and then a couple weeks ago we looked up the value of it again, and it may be a couple $100 difference, but it's not like it went down by $5,000 or something.
Sure, but when if you're still holding this thing in 2020,
a little bit lower,
a couple hundred more.
Yeah, the good thing is it hasn't. It doesn't have any more miles on it than it did,
right?
So that keeps the price. That kind of balances it out. But yeah.
Hey, I wish you all the luck. I think this is going. I think it's going well. Mm-hmm. I don't know what more could have gone correctly. And I say this because, hey, the poll results are definitive.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
About 3-1 that said I was in the wrong and that this has been a success.
You cannot argue with the very smart people that comment on our polls.
Now, as you look at your windows around this very house that are all special size, thank you, Jake, our former softball teammate, Jake.
Have we talked about that on the podcast?
I don't think so.
Jake, your father built this house. Beautiful house. I love it. Like living here, like the neighborhood. Maybe next time tell him to mix in a standard size window here and there, instead of every one being a weird size and having stupid cranks on them, making them $50 million windows to replace. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
As your windows bug you more and more, days go by, you walk in front of your living room and you just feel a slight draft.
Like an actual breeze blowing through the living room.
At what point do you have to, again, sit down and discuss, hey, maybe we go down another...
Cut bait. Yeah.
I mean, so a worst case scenario for you guys, and I would argue it is worst case scenario is you break even, right?
Well, I mean, worst case would be not even breaking even.
Well, but that's what I mean. I don't think you guys would even accept that, right? Because there's no reason to...
I think if we lowered it to what we have into it, we would sell it very quickly.
Tomorrow, right.
Yeah, I won't say tomorrow because I've made stupid predictions before. But I feel like, well, put it this way. If we lowered it to what we had into it, it would have been sold yesterday.
Yeah.
And we would have made a little bit of a profit on it because he offered a little bit more than we had into it.
And I didn't think it was, you thought about it.
I was tempted. Yeah. I was kind of tempted.
And that was as high as he was willing to go?
Yeah, he definitely wasn't budging.
Okay. You think he'll come back to the table?
I don't. No, I think he's gone. Because he was...
Another bridge burnt in Steve's world.
I don't know, though. I got this new guy. I got fish on.
Yeah, okay. It's like that time you got a fish on, but in actuality, you threw the line out with a worm on it, and you grabbed like a a piece of algae that's stuck to the bottom. Oh, hey, something's tugging it.
I reel in a boot, a spare tire.
That's the perfect analogy for you trying to sell this Jeep, Steve, is you fishing and catching a boot with a worm on the line. That's what you've gotten so far.
Yeah. Second Chance Jeeps is not off to a successful start.
Off? It's been 9 months.
Well, I mean,
Hey, sorry.
our first success was my vehicle. I count that as a success story.
Oh, sure. You got it for cheap. I mean, for everything. You had the deal of the century in the middle there. And
which, by the way, I just ended up selling one of those parts.
Recouping some of that cost.
I've made all of my money back plus some
nice
on that deal. So,
but obviously, so yeah, I mean, for what you wanted to spend, you got the Jeep. You wanted to worry. You didn't have to worry about selling it. So that is that's a bonus.
The plan was to buy that, and it was my vehicle. But yeah, so here we are. Just waiting to hear back. Waiting for that little bing message to pop up on my phone saying, I'll take it.
It's just not going to happen. We did mention, by the way, LT. That was a good time to mention. I forgot. We had talked about our 2 minutes of awkward conversation. Haven't done that in a little while again. But please leave us a review. We have a small list going. We could fire that back up at any time.
Sure.
We just never really talk about it. But please do leave us a review. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, whatever you listen to your podcast on. We're on Spotify now. We haven't mentioned that a lot. iHeartRadio should be live very, very shortly.
Yeah, iHeart has a weird submission thing where it takes them like up to a month to approve it. So we're just waiting to hear from them. It was submitted, probably 2-3 weeks ago at this point.
Right. If you have not done so, please leave us a review there, whatever avenue you listen to this podcast on. If there's a podcast app or something that you listen to podcasts on that we're not on, let us know and we can try to remedy that. The system we use.
I feel like at this point we're probably on most of them. Right. I think a lot of those podcast apps that people use, all they are is aggregators.
Right. They just steal it from every other avenue.
They just pull the feed. But I mean, if there's one that you're not on, let us know and we'll see if we can get on there. It seemed like a lot of people were really happy when we put it on Spotify.
Yeah, please do and pass that along if you listen to it on Spotify as well. It's always cool to see. We want to make this easier to access for you and for everybody. But please leave us a review wherever you listen to it. Let us know that you left a review with a screenshot of that review. We'll put you on the list for 2 minutes of awkward conversation. I think we can probably shoehorn that in here in the next few weeks, depending on if LT replies and we can get him on next week.
That's going to be a heck of a lot more than 2 minutes, man.
Oh, LT is going to be a whole segment.
Whole episode?
A whole episode, yeah. Oh, boy.
Let's see. I was outside when you pulled up this morning. I was grabbing the mail out of the mailbox from yesterday.
You were sliding down your driveway.
Man, it's a sheet of ice out there because it's warmed up by 50 degrees almost in the last 2 days. So now all of the snow is now just melting, but freezing, but then melting. So it's basically a sheet of ice. So I'm sliding down my driveway to get my mail. And as you're getting out of your car, I said, "Look, the 42 tires everyone's talking about," as on my four-wheeler magazine that showed up. So yeah, maybe we can get LT's take on that. See what
his favorite tire is.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a reason to tune in. LT, our football expert, picking his favorite tire.
Yeah. So I noticed a couple weeks ago when we first started our Instagram account, on Instagram at Stephen Kyle, that we posted I think it was your rant about Billy Madison.
Oh, for God's sake!
So I put some hashtags on there, like hashtag movies, hashtag Billy Madison, hashtag Kyle rant. I think.
Yeah.
Hashtag Stephen Kyle, hashtag podcasting. So when I was hashtagging Stephen Kyle, it'll give you like the suggested hashtags as you're typing it out.
Sure.
And I see that there's 28 other instances of hashtag Stephen Kyle.
Which in my mind I would be like, oh hey, maybe somebody's posting a picture of their screen working out while listening.
What I thought.
Hashtag Stephen Kyle.
Yeah, your old boy's already got a bit of a following here, even though we're new to we're the new kids in town.
Yeah, it's all right, taking Instagram by storm.
So I go back and I tap on that, so it pulls up all of the posts for hashtag Stephen Kyle. First picture I see is two men dressed up
Could be us.
Holding champagne glasses. Posted by somebody here on Instagram, and it says, "Congrats to hashtag Steve and Kyle."
Sure.
On their wedding.
Yeah.
Hashtag gay. Hashtag gay boys. Hashtag gay wedding. Okay.
That's right, folks. Hashtag gay boys.
Hashtag Steve and Kyle was apparently someone's hashtag for their gay wedding, which it looks like they had a great time at this wedding.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up pictures of it now. Fantastic.
It's like a good time.
The only thing I can say is, why the hell weren't we invited?
Yeah, do you not think that they searched, Steve and Kyle? So, oh, hey, these guys. Maybe we should invite them.
Nothing. Not even a nod. Did you guys you didn't have a hashtag for your wedding, did you?
No, that's not my thing. No, but oh boy.
It's not ours either, but I really wanted to do one.
What would yours have been?
I know exactly what I wanted it to be, because I just wanted it to be nonsensical.
Sure.
I didn't want it to be like hashtag Steve and Annette or Annette and Steve or anything like that. I wanted it to be hashtag spaghetti pants. And I had the okay from Annette to do that. And then we just never did it. We totally forgot to do anything with it. But yeah, I wanted hashtag spaghetti pants.
Look at that big jerk with his nice hair.
I know. These guys have great hair.
Beautiful centerpieces.
Look at that. Is that do you call that like a pompadour?
It looks like, Steve, now this is something, maybe we're out of the loop on this. Their table setup, they have numbers, but there's very clearly not separate tables. It's like family-style tables.
Look at that.
But gorgeous centerpieces. It looks to be a lovely affair there.
Yeah, see the background? It says something Stephen and Kyle.
A lot of people there. Yeah, look at this guy's hairdo. Oh, my gosh.
It's a good-looking man.
Steve, or you know what that is? That's Steve.
It's got to be.
It's got to be, because as we...
is the bald guy Kyle?
No offense. Real.
Sorry about that.
Real Lee Harvey Oswald over there.
Well, you should be flattered then. He is your hero.
Kyle's hair appears to be a touch thin. Okay, if that's Kyle. Hashtag gay boys. They're Canadian, Steve.
Are they?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It looks like they had a beautiful wedding.
It looks like Vancouver then. Isn't there kind of like a Space Needle looking thing? No. That big tower, that's by Niagara Falls, isn't it? Like the CN Tower?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of looks like the one in the Space Needle in Seattle. Yeah, that must be where it is, because if you look at the picture of those two men right there with the one that you were pointing out, the centerpieces, look in the background. It looks like it says something Stephen and Kyle, and then there's like a cityscape underneath it, and it looks like it's
oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Very nice, gentlemen.
If you could do us a favor, we're looking to add to our reach. If you're on Instagram and you follow us on Instagram, please go ahead and find those photographs. They're a year old, so they will be very stunned. Just search for hashtag Steve and Kyle. You'll see all the photographs from this beautiful wedding, and comment that they should listen to the @Steve and Kyle podcast. See if we can get a couple Toronto listeners.
Hey,
see if we can get maybe Steve and Kyle on the phone and ask what happened to Kyle's hair.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Looking to increase our reach into Canada, Steve. That's the goal.
Yeah, when I log in to look at the analytics of this podcast, and it shows the little map that shows where people listen, I want to see I want to see America's top hat highlighted. I want everybody in Canada to listen.
That's the goal. Now increase our reach, so please do that. Hashtag Steve and Kyle. Go find those photographs. Now that I'm thinking about it, none of them actually tag like a Steve or Kyle in that. So you're just going to be commenting on somebody who went to that wedding. So maybe just say...
It'll make it.
Yeah,
it'll make it back to them.
Have it make it back. That's all. Yeah, just, hey, let Steve and Kyle know they should listen to @Steve and Kyle.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I think they'll like it. I think that this podcast
Gay friendly.
Little something for everybody, you know? Gay, straight, black, white, Samoan.
A lot of hair. Not a lot of hair.
Not many hairs to speak of.
Come one, come all.
That's a billboard right there.
Oh boy. Well, for crying out loud, Steve. Well, do we want to hit the music? Did you have anything else you wanted to get to today?
For what?
The Fast Five.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Steve. That weekly bit we do that wraps up our podcast, you know?
You know something?
Mm-hmm.
I just...
Mm-hmm. What do you got?
Don't think...
You know what? Hey, you've obviously got something on your mind. Let me, I don't want to step on you, so go ahead, Steve. Take it away. What do you got?
Well, Kyle, I'm
gonna have a Twix while you get through this.
I just want to say that NBCnews.com current stories. Oh, that sounds delicious.
I can eat this because I'm prepared.
Okay. You said fast five, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
Pretty good Twix.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
It's that bit that we do every episode.
All right, yeah. I mean,
that one
always prepared for. Never not prepared.
Mm-hmm. Fast Five.
Yep.
That's what we call it.
Yep. Any minute now we'll be.
That's right, folks. Here on the Steve and Kyle podcast, we call it the Fast Five. As we rifle through today's hot topics, whether it be pop culture, news related, whatever's on our mind, we rifle through the Fast Five for both of us.
Yeah. What else? What other categories did you have? Music.
Yeah, like sports, music, TV, movies, big events, politics, pop culture.
All right. Yep. ABCnews.com. Let's see. Boy, a lot of stuff about Trump.
Pop culture, gossip, maybe some TMZ headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Sports.
Yeah, sports. Love the sports ball. Okay.
That's right. The way we wrap up the podcast every week, Steve.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. I mean, any other examples?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. So you sure you don't have anything else?
Did I mention sports?
Well, I mean, I guess we'll just get to the Fast Five then.
Fast Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I'll go first. I mean, I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
okay. First, Super Bowl commercials. It's Super Bowl Sunday after all.
Yeah, boy, it's a lot of. I can't wait. If you want to go ahead and search for the word sports ball tonight, you'll get a lot of comedians on Twitter. I don't know what the sports ball is, but yeah, they released them 2 days early. Who cares anymore?
Okay, next, the Virginia governor, the scandal with the
Ralph Northam.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to step down, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he's actually going to make it through this.
He apologized for it, and then he said, "I don't even know if that's me in that picture."
Yep. He had not just apologized and left it alone. Apologized, then backtracked further and decided to say, "Not me at all."
Yeah. I mean, why didn't you just go with that from the beginning?
Right.
And say, "That's not me."
Stick to your guns.
Okay. Next, Maroon 5. It's a big controversy.
Oh, man.
People want him to take a knee.
Not interested in the news conference, I see. Not interested in the news conference. I respect that.
Okay. And the Trump-Kim summit. Looks like there's going to be a second one I briefly saw for a second about a minute ago.
Yeah, a lot of peace talk's going to happen in that. Mm-hmm. No reason to be concerned about anything about us meeting with a human rights violator dictator who pretty much lied right to the president's face last time. And
They're like this, though. Buddies.
Close friends, Steve.
And now, an article that I saw last night that said, let's see, we're looming or slowly heading towards a second government shutdown, in the next 11 or 12 days or so.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks away, it's supposed to shut down again.
But I saw that the Democrats have now proposed a solution that would prevent the second government shutdown.
Okay.
By simply not referring to the border wall as a wall. So they'd give the funding as long as it wasn't referred to as a wall. That's really a solution. Nice job.
What are we even doing here? What if this is a matter of semantics? Go tell the 800,000 people who didn't get paid for 35 days that they didn't get paid because of semantics.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll probably make them feel a lot better.
Yeah, I mean they'll understand, right? Wall, barrier,
fence,
steel fence, whatever.
Obstruction.
God, imagine being in government and politics and thinking like this is rational.
Who's the idiot that said, "I got an idea. Call it a fence." And you got the money, Mr. President.
Yeah.
And the fact that everybody else on the left said, genius.
Problem solver.
Yeah, all the conservatives are like, seriously? We got that? It was that easy?
Yeah, that's all we needed to do.
We just call it a fence?
Embarrassing. God.
Embarrassing on all counts. Okay, before that was the second Donald Trump, Kim... Kim Jong... I never remember. Kim Jong-il. No, Un.
Coming up this month, supposedly. I don't know what can come from it. It seems like this should be... What do they call it? Unilateral or whatever. The one where there's multiple people involved that can kind of oversee it. Him and Kim Jong-un in a room together with nothing but translators seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
But... I mean, who knows? I guess it's better to be even on a cordial level with somebody who's been trying to develop nuclear weapons than to be acrimonious towards that country. So, assuming these go okay or as okay as the last time they had met,
I'm torn, though.
It can't make it worse, can it?
Because the last time they came away from that with Trump saying that he was a great man and a great friend. Mm-hmm. And I don't really think that is appropriate, considering his massive human rights violations and murdering innocent people and keeping people essentially in concentration camps and work camps. But hey, what do I know? That could just be semantics too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time he has or will put his foot in his mouth. And it's not the first time he hasn't and won't apologize for saying something like that. There's just a divide between what the world seems to know about North Korea and their human rights violations and the way that Trump seems to ignore them.
All right, before that, we had Maroon 5, the big Super Bowl halftime show controversy.
Man. That's I talked a little bit about them last week or 2 weeks ago because I just wonder what it's going to take to make people happy in regards to the halftime act. People seem to refer to Prince, but I don't even remember when Prince was announced being this unanimous, oh, yeah, Prince. That was during the era where everybody was mad because they were only hiring essentially has-beens are like older people after the Janet Jackson nipple disaster. So, no, I don't think people were overall happy when Janet Jackson or when Prince was brought on to do the halftime show. And now Maroon 5 has been a big, well, Maroon 5 sucks, whatever. I don't even want to listen to that debate. That's a bunch of idiots yelling at each other on the internet about nothing. And now there's this, well, if you don't take a knee up there, you're not really doing anything. I would seem to think, I doubt it's in a contract of some sort, but I bet there are some assurances that the NFL has that their halftime show viewed by 100 million people will not be used as a platform for a band to make a political stance.
I would bet now there is, maybe not in the past.
Right.
But
yeah, I would bet in the last few years that's been, and I would bet they're particularly choosing these acts who they know probably aren't going to go out of their way. I mean, you're talking about Adam Levine, who is on one of the most popular shows in the world, and The Voice, a band that sells singles to a lot of the public that isn't going to side with them taking a knee.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a concern at all. I think it's a ridiculous thing of saying they have to do it. It's just dumb.
So, let's see. Before that, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam.
Yeah, going well, man. Junior yearbook from high school. 2 people in a photograph. One was in blackface. The other was in a Ku Klux Klan hood.
Hard to believe that there was ever a time when...
Funny.
Yeah, because I won't say where that was acceptable, because I don't think it was ever acceptable. But, like people sitting in yearbook class where they're piecing together the yearbook for the end of the year, and they're like, "Oh, hey, give me the Northam KKK blackface photo. Yeah, let's put that one right here, page 8. That'll look good." What a weird world that it used. What do you think will be when we're in our 70s? So 35, 40 years from now.
Sure.
When we're in our 70s, what are we going to look back at and be like, "What? This was okay"? There's got to be something.
Well, I mean, I think we already do, right? So, I mean, that's the equivalent of this era looking back on, the Jim Crow laws and before African Americans were afforded even the right to vote, let alone use a drinking fountain in the same restroom. So that in that regard, I think it's going to be the children being detained at a border. I think we're going to look back on that in 40 years in books and say,
yeah, but I doubt
how
that,
the heck?
But 40 years from now, I doubt that that's going to be the feature in like a yearbook from this year.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously blackface has been a big no-no. Is it going to be the MAGA hat?
Could be.
But even in 40 years, I think that will also depend on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because 40 years, yeah.
But we'll see what happens in the next 2 years and if that's viewed in the same light as that. But I think that's definitely an option. Hopefully we look back on all those people that have those dumb coexist bumper stickers on their cars.
Okay.
In that light.
I don't know. Seems like a positive message.
It's just dumb looking.
So you just don't like the overall design of it?
Looks so stupid.
All right, and first on the list was Super Bowl commercials. What are you looking forward to?
I mean,
to?
It's always, you got the main 3, right? You got your Doritos, you've got your Budweiser.
Probably got Pepsi in there. Pepsi's always got a...
Coca-Cola announced this year, they're for the first time in more than a decade, they're not advertising.
Coca-Cola's not, huh?
Yeah. I think at some point there's going to be a time frame where there's no positives for companies like that, right? People know who Doritos are. People know who Pepsi is. People know Budweiser.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not looking to gain new customers.
Right.
They're not looking for people to watch it and say, "What is this?"
Right.
What are Doritos? They're just looking for that. They're looking to implant that in your brain, so when you stop to get gas the next time and you run in to grab a snack, you say, "Ooh, Doritos. I want them," because they had a good Super Bowl commercial.
I don't know if this has always been this way, but they're released like 2 days before the Super Bowl now.
Yeah, why?
I don't understand. So there's no real surprise because you can know what's coming, right? They'll unveil them all in like Good Morning America.
Yeah.
So, the Super Bowl.
Have we finally gotten past the Danica Patrick, she's going to be nude.
Oh,
in
the
this
GoDaddy?
year's GoDaddy.
The GoDaddy.
That's one right there that I think that even now we're already looking back on and cringing. I mean,
Yeah.
like, how was that remotely appropriate?
Go to this website to see the rest. And the rest was just the advertising screen for buying a domain space through GoDaddy.
Right.
I don't think I told this story on this podcast, but years ago, I'm not going to get into the specifics because this is listed as clean on Apple Podcasts. But there's an article years ago about, in a magazine, I think, about unique ways for men to help themselves finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I could, the name's fine, I think. One of them was labeled the Cold Climax.
Okay.
I remember as a gift one year to one of my friends for Christmas, I bought via GoDaddy, because that's the only one I really knew at that time, I bought coldclimax.com.
Okay.
And it's after all these ads, right? You said the Danica Patrick, is she going to drop the towel or not?
Right.
My friend got a call within 72 hours of me gifting this domain. And we're not web developers. It's a novelty, right?
Right. You were essentially like cyber squatting.
Yeah.
You bought it not with the intention of cyber squatting, but with the intention of it being a joke. But inherently, yes, you are squatting on the domain.
Yeah. My friend gets a call on his book because I used his name to gift it to him. Hey, this is GoDaddy. We just wanted to make sure not planning on using this domain space for any pornography.
You can't do that?
I guess not. I don't know. And, so I was like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. It was just supposed to be a gag gift of coldclimax.com.
So does he still own it?
No, that was I think I only bought it for 1 year, and we were both pretty jaded from GoDaddy making sure we weren't going to. Like, again, what could I even do? I don't even know how to. Do I need a new code? Well, how would I don't know how to set up a website. It was a gag, man.
Clip art. Put some clip art up there.
Yeah, so it's just funny that they use these tactics to advertise, right? Yet, whoa, we can't have our moral compass compromised.
Boy, that seems a bit short-sighted on their part. But anyway, that was the last one.
Yeah, I'm a movie trailer guy during this podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I hit that a bit early.
Oh, you're good. That's I look forward to the movie trailers. That you'll get the big ones for the summer.
Right.
That'll unveil during the Super Bowl. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Fast 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's right, folks. It's the Fast Five, the same segment we've done
Fast Five.
for about 133 episodes in a row, right at the
Super
end.
Bowl commercials. I had Virginia Governor. I had Maroon 5. That's 3. I had Trump Kim Summit. That's 4. Border Wall. Yeah.
I mean, assuming Steve didn't get a hold of the highlight and delete feature, you'll hear how long it took him to develop his Fast Five when he edits this after we're done. First one, Steve, the Super Bowl.
Go Rams. I saw your post today.
Stop being dumb, Steve. This gets released on Tuesday.
Oh, a heck of a game
right?
that was when they threw that ball and that play in the third quarter.
The big one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw
know.
you posted a picture of young Reed.
Yeah.
Who's three
and a half months.
3.5 months at this point. He is officially on the Rams bandwagon.
Oh, no, sorry. I have to say it like a pompous new parent. Not 3.5, like 15 weeks.
14 weeks.
No big deal.
Do you guys don't do the weeks thing?
No, I don't know how many weeks
I think
he is.
the weeks thing is okay up to like 6 months.
6 months, though,
That
is
even seems like a lot.
26 weeks. If you're saying weeks after 2 months, where it's like 8 or 9 weeks, people at that point are just doing in math in their head. Well, I guess about 4 and a half a month. He's about 2.5 months.
Oh, you know what you need to do? Start the trend of days. 183 days.
Oh, yes. I've done that math. We're in the 110s.
Okay. So, I saw that picture of your son Reed. How old is he?
Oh, he just 117 days old today, Steve. That's right. 117 days into this adventure.
Oh, boy.
Exciting, right?
It's very exciting.
Governor Ralph Northam.
Yeah, well, we discussed it during my Fast Five. Probably should just hit the bricks,
Seems like he's not going to.
Well, I mean, he's not going to until the pressure ultimately mounts. Because it's not going to go away.
No. Heels dug in, though, it seems.
Yeah. What do they do? Because they can get him out of there, right?
I don't know how that goes. On a statewide level for a governor, I don't know. Would they have to Impeach him?
I guess I don't know how that works.
Groundhog Day,
How about that?
right?
Spring is on its way.
Punxsutawney Phil.
We should see. We missed the opportunity. It was on a Saturday. We should have been there. Should have been there for a live
It's in
broadcast.
middle of Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
right?
Punxsutawney.
Where is that in Pennsylvania?
I think it's pretty much in the middle of the places that you don't want to be in Pennsylvania. Because
Man, we should have gone.
hold on, let's find out.
Could we bring like signs, but like PETA-esque signs, like release Phil?
Let Phil go.
And then, to maximize our time, we just go down to the local prison.
Oh boy, Punxsutawney. Okay, it is. Looks like it's a little west of Big Run and Troutville, south of Cool Spring.
So the metropolis is there. Metropoli?
Okay, so it's right off of I-80. This is good. Okay, a little bit east of Pittsburgh, so
For
it's
all
probably
you people who don't know, that's it's the turnpike.
probably I would say 5.5 hour drive for us.
Or we pay your brother next year. 'Cause he's located in Pennsylvania, right?
Probably about a 5.5 hour drive for him as well.
So we all meet up in Punxsutawney next year for Phil to make his appearance from
Boy, was I off. 7 hours.
from us.
Yeah.
So we call your brother, have him make the journey, Steve,
Okay.
and we have a correspondent on the ground as he chants, "Let Phil go! Let Phil go!"
Let's see from my brother. It is 4 hours 15 minutes. Sorry, Mike.
Oh yeah, you're on the hook,
You
man.
drew the short straw.
Oh, next year, that's right. Next
Just
year,
head up that northeast extension, get on I-80, head west till you run into a rat.
take the kids to love it.
Oh, they
Love
would.
it.
They
What
would
a day!
absolutely love it.
Dress up in old timey wardrobe, with a top hat and a bow, and bring everyone out there, and you applaud a groundhog that they hold up over their head.
Yeah, and they read some, "Hear ye, Phil declares that the winter sucks."
But then, right before he can
Stupid
complete it, as we said, "Let Phil go! Let Phil go!" Hashtag let Phil go.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day. It's time he gets his.
Maybe
chance
that's our
for freedom.
poll this week. Are you pro Groundhog Day or anti Groundhog Day?
Yeah. Nobody likes
Hashtag
it,
let
right?
Phil go.
Anybody out of Punxsutawney, do you care?
I saw yesterday that people seem to love it.
Ah, God, I shouldn't say that anybody out of Punxsutawney. We have a listener who drove to watch a stupid eclipse.
That I can understand.
Snooze.
That's like a celestial event.
Snooze.
This is a rat who they rip out of a tree stump once a year.
How old is Phil? How old is Punxsutawney
I'd
Phil?
imagine
It's got to be a third or second or third Phil, right?
Easily. Well, I mean, that movie alone's 25, 30 years old at this point, right? What's the and it's not like
So you're assuming it's
not
the
like-
same Phil from Groundhog Day, the film?
No, I'm just saying that it's not like Groundhog Day, the holiday, was new
Sure.
when that movie came
Oh,
out.
right,
So,
right.
I don't know. I would imagine a groundhog lives, 6, 7 years? So even since the movie came out, there have probably been 5 different ones.
They celebrate the legendary groundhog with a festive atmosphere of music and food during the ceremony. Phil emerges from his temporary home located on Gobbler's Knob.
Yep.
According to tradition, if he sees his shadow and returns to his hole, he has predicted 6 more weeks of winter-like weather. Punxsutawney Phil, born May 1st, 2010.
May 1st, 2010.
So we are
like
on,
the current.
Yeah, we're on 9-year-old Phil right now.
Wow.
But
All right, give
they've
me-
been doing this, Steve, since 1887 to 1888. So long winter, 1889. They did not record. 1942, though, everybody know. From 1903 to 1933, Steve, he predicted a long winter.
So can you? Do they have all the different Punxsutawney Phils? Like they're.
I don't know. I'm not there yet because I want to bring the room down with the 1942 prediction of
Oh,
Punxsutawney Phil. And that is, Steve, do you have any guesses about what it might be?
Like 10 more years of war.
War clouds have blacked out parts of the shadow.
Good Lord.
That's right.
War clouds.
Have blacked out parts of the shadow.
Boy, talk about them not really understanding the need for some escapism.
Boy, Punxsutawney trying to stay in the news. On March 21st, 2018, the county sheriff's office issued an arrest warrant for Punxsutawney Phil for deception, citing that winter was only supposed to last 6 more weeks. He suffered a snowstorm on the second day of spring.
Oh, boy.
Just stay out of the news. I hate this thing all over again.
I want to know how many dead rats there have been since the beginning.
Yeah, I'm kind of
this.
looking. How many Punxsutawney Phils have there been? I have not seen them. A select group, Steve, called the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club Inner Circle, takes care of Phil year-round, and they plan the ceremony. They are recognizable by their top hats and tuxedos.
Oh, stupid clothes, in other words.
Vice President prepares 2 scrolls in advance of the ceremony, one which proclaims 6 more weeks, one which proclaims an early spring.
Okay.
Phil awakens from his burrow and explains to the president of the inner circle in a language I hate every one of these.
Groundhogese, right?
Groundhogese, whether he has seen his shadow. I hate every single person here. If you live in Punxsutawney, I hate you.
How many?
I don't know. They're really cagey about the history of Phil and how many Phils they've gone through.
Oh, but it is claimed that this one groundhog has lived to make weather prognostications since 1886.
Yeah, it's like but that's also like the goldfish who picks football games.
Oh, yeah, by like eating little niblets of food.
Yeah, like, no, that's not happening at all. And you're very vague about it. I hate everybody. Well, boy, we got...
Yeah,
But...
Well, we'll just be able to blow right past it on the turnaround.
We digress.
Yeah.
The Nuclear Arms Treaty. Hear about that?
I did. I heard something about it, but
Good news.
Not enough to comment on it.
So both the United States and Russia have now pulled out of, I want to say it's the Mid-Sized Nuclear Arms Treaty, which it's intended to bar nuclear arms from being created in Europe and left in Europe and transported to Europe. Something like that. The United States pulled out, saying Russia was not following the rules. So Russia then pulled out, announcing they are now going to build the banned weapons under that treaty. Seems like everything's going well.
Good.
Nobody worry. This happened once before, and there was never any danger of nuclear war in 1963.
Is that
2, 1.
Bay of Pigs?
No, this was the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Cuban Missile Crisis, of
What
course.
was that, 1962?
What was Bay of Pigs?
Couldn't have been 63. JFK didn't quite make it to the end of the year.
No. Thanks to your hero.
And lastly, Steve.
Oh yeah, Bay of Pigs. No, it's an inlet off the Gulf Coast.
Oh yeah, no, that's something that happened. Absolutely,
right. But is that where the where they
no,
were
the
stored?
Bay of Pigs was an attempt by the United States government to overthrow the Cuban government that was caught before it was even made. I believe before it even made landfall.
All right,
and turned away.
All right.
And lastly, Steve, the polar vortex. Now, I'm guessing most people know what we're talking about because as most of our listeners are going to be in the north and northeast region. Awful.
Terrible.
Coldest air here in 25 years this past week.
Yeah, I think it was Wednesday where our high was -1.
Yep, and
the wind chill in the low in the -30s.
Something crazy.
-30s, -40s. Yeah, that was brutal.
Unbelievable.
It was terrible. Basically, even everything was shut down for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Schools were closed almost all of last week. Happy that it's gone. It's going to be 50 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah,
so you go
again.
outside now, it's just a disgusting mess. I highly recommend you taking my roof rake when you leave here today.
Yeah.
So you can scrape that snow off your roof.
Yeah.
Before it inevitably freezes again in a couple of days.
Yeah.
I did that this afternoon, or I did that this morning before you got here.
You had an ice dam before at your 2 residences ago.
God, that was terrible. That was the reason that I bought a massive torch.
Oh yeah,
So
because you thought you were going to heat it up.
Yeah.
So and I
It's
believe
it's like the number one thing that they tell you don't do. Because my back roof had a very shallow angle on it, so it just sat up there. Yeah. So don't try to burn snow off of your roof. Bad idea. Very bad idea.
I just see you like prone because you're on like melting snow and ice.
Yeah.
And you're trying to like strike your blowtorch on.
Well, I had to carry a tank of propane up there with me.
Like you didn't get just like one of those campsite
no.
1
I was
pounders.
up there for hours.
You brought like a grill-sized 20 pound of propane.
I brought my propane tank from my grill up on the roof. Worked well.
Every one of your neighbors, 3 residences now. I guess maybe not the second one so much. Your one neighbor, we don't know if she made it. You didn't have nearby neighbors, but boy, you've got something in your blood that just pisses off your neighbors. I can't imagine February, again, some guy wearing Crocs, his Make Boobs Great Again
Make
shirt.
Boobs Great, yeah, Federal Boob Inspector
Federal
shirt.
Boob Inspector and gray sweatpants and then safety goggles standing on your roof with a blowtorch.
Yeah.
Had a very nice, was very good to your neighbors.
Yeah. It's I feel like I've grown up a bit since then, though. Got a roof rake.
Yeah.
Nothing out of the ordinary now.
Wow, outside of your church day antenna setting up.
Yeah, and I guess technically this morning was a church day roof raking.
You animal.
I saw the neighbor, though.
Yeah.
Saw Cindy over there. She had opened the door to let her little puppy out to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
And had a nice conversation with her. She did not scorn me for working on the Lord's Day.
Well, we've talked about the calls at convention. You'll get a written warning.
I really want to meet my neighbors like diagonal from here because they're young, and I think that we'd get along.
Just wander on over.
I know. I see him out there. Like I feel like the only time I ever see him is when I'm getting in the car to go somewhere. But there was one day last week where we were both out snowblowing at the same time, and I just finished the driveway, and I was like, I'm going to walk over there, and I turn around to start walking over there, and I just see his garage door coming. Like,
oh, that guy's
down.
me. I want nothing to do with any of my neighbors.
Even if it's like,
no.
Even if it's somebody your age,
Don't care.
really.
Got a younger-ish couple that lives next door to us that has just had their second child. I was outside yesterday coming home, and he was outside roof raking.
Did you drive
Just
by your house?
60 seconds of the worst conversation ever. I hate everything about it.
Really?
Halloween this past year was the worst day of
Why?
ever. I don't want to talk to these people. I'm not interested.
So you have no desire in making new friends?
No, God, no,
Nothing.
not neighbors. The only neighbor I talked to is the jerk who made me redo my whole fence on the back.
But why wouldn't you want to have neighbor friends?
Ugh, good. All set. Pass.
So no desire whatsoever.
None. Stay on your property. I'll stay on mine. Don't make me put up a privacy fence in the front lawn. I don't want to do it, but I will. Leave me alone.
All right, hypothetical. You come home from work one day,
Sure.
and the neighbor's out there, and he's set up a haunted house walkthrough in his garage.
Nope, go on to
something that you love.
Sure.
And he's going to be doing a screening of, what's your favorite?
Halloween.
Scary? Halloween. Like on a big projector up on the side of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says, I listened to your podcast.
Yeah.
Heard you're into scary movies, things that go bump in the night, a mask and a bat. I got all that over here. You want to come over?
Yeah.
You want to come over?
Not a chance in hell. I'll be inside. Leave me alone. Movies outside? What am I, 16, going to sit in the park trying to sneak a beer? No. Room temperature house.
Is there anything that you like?
What is the appeal about
Like,
one stupid PA speaker?
What brings joy to your life?
Really like solitude.
Okay. It's weird that you've picked this as a hobby.
But I really love talking and making myself laugh and you laugh. I really love like being on a microphone. I adore it. I just sit in a driveway and watch a movie. There's snacks. This is the same people on the 4th of July last year, Steve. This is what you're thinking. This is how I know it would never work. Okay. Now we've communicated. Well, first of all, the first communication we really ever had with our neighbors, the younger ones with 2 children, was like opening the door and hearing them like yelling at our dog who barked like twice through the fence.
So these are the ones that I'm talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And water under the bridge, whatever, at this point with that. It's not a big deal. But they would be the only option because the people on the other side, I've had a run-in with the law with.
Yeah, didn't that guy threaten to kill you or something?
Yeah, we never talked about that because, I was going through proceedings to get a restraining order.
Okay.
But we digress. The people across the street on the 4th of July last year, and I don't care if you don't do fireworks. I like fireworks. But they put all their lawn chairs out and put on their favorite DC Talk CD.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm serious.
DC Talk.
It was, yes, it was a Christian rock-ish
I am
music.
well aware.
Pop music. I just know that's not going to be, and plus they're older and they have 3 kids who are, 8 and 10, whatever, that age group. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm okay. I'm not interested. I have one of my best friends lives 2 houses down. That's all I need. Nearby neighbors, leave me alone.
Okay. So you're saying there's a chance that you'll want to become friends with your neighbors?
No.
Okay.
But shred of hope, maybe, but nope. Before that, the nuclear arms...
But we digress.
Before that, the nuclear arms treaty, Steve, it sounds like it's going to go well. If I think about this too much, I get scared.
Yeah, I don't really want to think about it.
Nope. So we're going to...
Everything's good.
Yep. Nothing's going to go wrong.
No.
Before that, we talked way too long about Groundhog Day. Famous holiday in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Well, next year, we'll have correspondent Mike on the ground giving us all the details as he chants. Let Phil go.
What day of the week is Groundhog Day?
It's always on it's always on February 2.
February 2. So it's a so it's a Sunday in 2020.
Yeah.
You think we do a broadcast there? Drive there on Saturday.
I think if we get... Okay.
Drive there Saturday.
Yep.
Get a hotel room.
Yep.
And then
find a
Sunday
Frickers.
Morning, we break up, or we wake up at like 3 a.m.
Oh, sure.
Carry this table out to the Gobbler's Knob.
There's still this table in a year. Okay.
Yeah, we're bringing this one with us.
Walking out to Gobbler's Knob.
Finding Meteor Row. Because I'm sure that there is one.
Like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I bet you there is, right?
I'm sure there is.
Punxsutawney ABC affiliate there with their cameras.
Setting up the table, setting up the broadcast. All we need is an extension cord.
Mm-hmm.
Plug in, and we're doing the show.
We're going to have to park next to 1017, the Groundhog Crew.
That's the name of the station?
That's the name of the morning show that's going to be there.
Okay.
That we're going to be competing with.
1017, the Groundhog Crew.
The Groundhog Crew, and they're all going to be wearing their top hats, one bigger than the next.
And we do the podcast, but I think we have to invest in a speaker.
Everybody's got to hear it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and plus it'll give us a great platform for our chant. Let Phil go. Let Phil go.
Let Phil go. And then security of the inner circle. Sounds terrifying, by the way, right?
The inner circle of groundhogs.
We're the member of the inner circle. We're going to have to ask you to leave.
Like, you know that what you do is really stupid, right?
Yeah, you do this all year. Like you understand, right?
You've wasted the last 145 years on a stupid tradition.
You're 48. Your family hates you.
All right, we're there.
Yeah. Before that, Governor Ralph Northam, the governor of, it's Virginia, right?
Yes.
With the KKK/blackface yearbook photo. How does this compare to you, Steve? Now, this was a big thing.
In no way does this compare to me. Sorry. I don't want any comparison.
Phrase wrong. How does this compare, in your mind, to what's happened? It's become especially more profound this year, where people dig up old tweets of like baseball players and things. How does this compare?
I mean, it's basically the same thing. I think.
How do you feel about that? I don't love it, but like,
well, it's content, but more importantly, I think it's context. I can't, in my mind, think of a time where there's good context for.
Sure.
For the photo that was in that yearbook.
This is just less technological, like Twitter searching, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the big thing was with baseball players this year after they throw a no-hitter or hit 4 home runs in a game. They were, hey, who's this guy? Someone would just go through their Twitter to like 2009, find tweets from they were 15 years old that would either, use a homophobic slur or a racial slur, something like that.
Have you ever gone back and deleted a tweet? Like something that you maybe popped in your head that you remembered? Oh, I think I tweeted that a couple of years ago.
No, I probably should. There's some that I've sent to some. I remember when the Detroit Lions drafted a wide receiver in the second round, Ryan Broyles. Didn't deserve to be drafted in the second round, but that's not his fault. And I sent a picture of a reconstructed knee and said, does this look like yours? He'd had like 2 ACL injuries in college.
Okay. Well, but that, like, there's never a time when that's going to, even 50 years from now, there's not going to be any anger about something like that. Like, do you think that you've tweeted anything that, in hindsight, you should probably go back and delete?
I'm sure I have.
Say you go,
nothing.
You're gonna, like, other than just regular trolling stuff.
Oh, sure. Then probably not. No, I don't. I'm not the one who's dropping slurs anywhere, let alone on social media.
No, I didn't mean that, but
so,
like,
I don't. I don't know. I'm sure there's some that I mean, there's obviously ones that are. Oh boy, I didn't need to do that, but nothing
like
to
your
where.
Rant at Hope Solo.
Nope, stand by it.
So
awful person.
So that would actually be. So when you run for political office,
I might pin it.
That's going to be your, like, that'll be right up there in your list of, like, this is what I'm going to get done.
That's
for this
what I'm running
state.
on. Is making sure Hope Solo knows she's an awful person.
Okay.
Who has also taken many, many pictures of her butthole.
Fair enough.
Hate her.
Fair enough.
She's a bad person, Steve. I stand by that.
But we digress.
Oh boy, I mean, was that from the Nuclear Arms Treaty? No, that was.
How did we get?
No, it was Governor Ralph Northam.
Oh, okay.
And lastly, Steve, the Super Bowl. What'd you think?
Heck of a game. Remember, we talked about that third quarter play.
Now, last year we had to record a bunch of instances just in case anything happened. So we, oh, can you believe that Rob Gronkowski, caught that pass with one leg as he tumbled over through the cheerleader.
Can you catch a ball? Like, could you catch a pass with your feet?
Yeah, I think so for whatever reason, if you jump in the air, the ball either gets tipped or down, or if you fall on the ground and just lift your legs in the air and catch, as long as it doesn't touch the ground.
Or like if it's a really low throw and it just get like somebody throws it right like just above your knees and you kind of like
absolutely.
That's a catch, right?
That has to have happened, right?
I'm sure it has. Because there's the there was the one, was it who's the guy for is it Odell Beckham Jr.? Hasn't he made a few where he traps the ball against his helmet?
And obviously the famous David Tyree catch for the New York Giants 2009 or 2007, something like that, where he trapped the ball against his helmet, fell to the ground, was a catch against the New England Patriots. So you just don't see it, obviously, but I'm kind of surprised because you'll see errant throws now and again. Like,
somebody should make that, like somebody who's coming up now.
Yeah,
they should make that their goal. Like, hey, just throw the ball really low. I'll catch it with my feet every time.
Yeah,
and then flip over and run on your hands.
I mean, how can you defend against that? Sorry, he got another foot pass. So yeah, the Super Bowl, another great game this past year. Rams, Patriots.
Yeah.
Boy, leads into an exciting 2019, right?
Tell you what, there's a lot to talk about during this offseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't wait to get all the thoughts.
All right, so next week on the podcast, remember, we're going to have Lawrence Tolman, LT_Tolman, TOLMAN, on Instagram. Be sure to
don't need to follow him.
Reply to go there and show him some love. Say you're a big fan of the show, bigger fan of the Steve and Kyle podcast. Tag at Steve and Kyle. Maybe tell him that there's an at FBHW show connection there, so it doesn't catch him completely off guard.
Sure.
But yeah, we'd love to have LT on.
I think we'll get LT on next week, right, Steve?
You got a lot of questions you want to ask him.
Oh my God! Well, just bring that magazine down here. We can
42 tires.
2 birds with one stone. I can ask, LT what his thoughts on the 42 best tires are, and you can walk across the street and make friends with your neighbors.
Can't wait to have LT on. Of course, we have not coordinated this at all.
LT next week. Tune in.
You can download, subscribe, and review the show in iTunes, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Libsyn, also on Spotify now, on iHeart very soon. Hopefully
very soon.
By next week.
Again, stay tuned to those social medias that Steve just mentioned. Video coming up. We want to try something a little new. It won't be weekly, but yeah, we want to try something new. Be sure to check that out. A little video posted here later, or it should be up by now.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you next week.